Good morning. So I hope the audio is coming through here. It's been a while since I've posted any of the videos, and I would like to have a daily or semi-daily rhythm of thoughts come back, as I had once done previously on this channel. And so I'm here outside. It is shaping up to be a hot day in beautiful Pasadena here. And something that's been coming up online and in my thoughts and in our culture generally, the topic that I thought about today is I wanted to address the idea of epistemology. Why I go on a lot about history and philosophy. It's very interesting, but sometimes it's crucially important. Philosophy isn't just, especially when you get into ethics, it's not just about out there abstract things. It's about how you're living your life, how you're perceiving things, how you trust people. Epistemology means your system of knowing, your system of knowledge. How do you know things? And well, the answer just isn't as simple as, well, I just know it. There are different ways of doing it. And one of the best distinctions is between authority versus empiricism. It's a very simple distinction. And epistemology by authority would be if I ask someone if the mail has come yet, and they tell me. By empiricism would be I go out to the mailbox to look to see if the mail has arrived. And right now, our culture is being saturated, especially in the media. Our culture is being saturated with, in the elite classes, by epistemology by authority. And I would say that unless epistemology by authority is grounded in epistemology by empirical epistemology, it's going to be very flawed. We've seen a lot of this lately. We've seen people changing their minds and say, oh, it's the science, and the science is changing its mind. Yeah, that can happen. It happens way more often when minds are changed because of people being fickle. So it's a real shame that people seem to be unaware of this, or they gravitate towards authority. There was, I forget which social media this was, whether it was Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. One of them had their misinformation guidelines. That something is misinformation if it goes against a scientific consensus. I replied to this. The person who posted this liked my reply. I replied with a picture of Galileo looking through a telescope, and I said, Galileo, spreader of misinformation. Because scientific breakthroughs only happen when something goes against the consensus. It's the only way we make new discoveries. So if you're defining misinformation in this way, you're killing the science. So I really would like to see an increase in trust, because you can't just go empirically for everything. I can't just walk to the mailbox all the time. It's not entirely relevant, but I always like quoting Leibniz that everyone is an empiricist when they see the sun come up in the morning, but only an astronomer calculates it by reason. And so to say that you can do astronomical observations and you can see the seasons and equinoxes and even eclipses, but if you're going to calculate, okay, when is the solstice going to be? When will winter be coming? Is our calendar accurate? If you're on a ship or a boat, where are you with the stars and all of that? All of that requires that you trust an almanac that you trust what other people have recorded so that you calculate it and make projections and look into the future. So just as you can cripple science and you can cripple culture by relying too much on the authority, if you cannot trust authority, then you're also lost. So you need to find an Aristotelian golden mean between authority and empiricism. And find the Aristotelian golden mean between the two, where you're combining new empiricism, which is not dismissed as disinformation. It's really, this is a culture, anyone who's worried about disinformation is a culture that's completely unconfident. They're hysterical. It's a type of hysteria. So this is something that I would like to see going forward. I hope people can be aware of this. Unfortunately, I think that this is an old hobby horse of mine to talk about the school systems. The shift to exam-based teaching has been incredibly detrimental. Exam-based teaching, I don't think it's good for culture. I don't think it's good for society. Because what that is it's authority. It's 100% authority. And it's based upon, the teacher said these are the answers. If you remember that, then you're good. And people are now living their lives this way. You get your reward for filling in the right boxes. And things start to fall apart when you do that, instead of teaching people, okay, this is the way that you discover things. This is the way that you collaborate. I feel very fortunate to have been raised in an environment with people who value that. So, yeah. By the way, it's going to be a new thing. I'm going to think about what I say. It's utterly useless, I think, to enjoy a pipe when you're trying to talk. I call this a 40% listening, a 60% listening device. If I'm talking more than 40% of the time, the pipe goes out. So I can't do the pipe before the video, thinking about what I'm going to say when I say it. So for those curious, this is a Savinelli 315 KS with Captain Black Royal. Good old unsophisticated, yet one of my favorites. So there will be more videos. Be cycling through my pipe rotation, thinking about what I'm going to say. If you have something to say, tell me in the description below. You can say my tie looks stupid. You can say I'm completely wrong. Go nuts. Thank you for listening.